Hello, this is Erin bringing you another teaching strategy to use with children in the classroom. This particular strategy is in the content area of math. I chose the 8-step verbal math problem solving strategy from our Strategies for Teaching Students with Learning and Behavior Problems textbook. This particular strategy is introduced in Chapter 11 on page 389, continuing through page 391, with an additional Apply the Concept table numbered 11-9. The student learning outcome is that students will read a math story problem out loud to visualize, paraphrase, estimate, and calculate an answer. It is important to understand that this particular strategy is geared towards secondary students and is to be used as long as the student has basic computation strategies mastered. I chose this specific strategy for the personal reason that I am teaching a reading and writing strategies course for EBD, SLD, and OHD students. Oftentimes, I am asked why finding different details in sentences is important. Implementing this math strategy not only utilizes basic math computation, but also addresses the importance of reading comprehension across many different content areas. The first step is to have the student read the story problem out loud. It is important that the teacher is nearby to aid in clarification of words that the student may not know the meaning of or may not know how to pronounce. Our story problem today is: there are 9 weeks left of school until summer break begins. The teacher assigns 4 homework assignments each week. How many homework assignments will the teacher have to correct for the rest of the school year? I want to note that the textbook does suggest that math story problems should be related and of interest to the student. For many of us, we are nearing the single-digit count of weeks left until our summer break, a near and dear topic to many educators. The next step is to have the student paraphrase the story problem. This is where the student can use self-questioning skills to determine what the important information is from the text. This portion is completed verbally out loud. I have simply provided the highlights for you to reference at this point. As we move on to the third step, the student will continue to talk the following information out loud from the story problem, and then create a visual from themselves. This may include tally marks, using fractions, creating specific drawings, etc. The created visual is all dependent on the information that is being asked from the math problem. One particular visual a student could use with this math problem could include finding a calendar to determine the specifics for each week of school left to come. The fourth step uses both verbalization and physical notation of stating the problem. The student will use more self-questioning skills out loud to say, "I have," while physically highlighting or underlining the specific details in the story problem. For example, I have 9 weeks left of school. The teacher assigns 4 pieces of homework each week. I want to find out how many assignments the teacher will have to correct for the rest of the school year. The fifth step involves more verbal speaking of reiteration of the math problem. They are going to be hypothesizing their process towards a solution. During this step, the student will need to determine which mathematical operation they will need to use to find the answer. For example, if I multiply 9 by 4, then I will get my answer for the amount of homework assignments the teacher will have left to correct until summer break. The sixth step requires the student to use estimation strategies to estimate the answer for the story problem. This is why it's important that this overall strategy process is used once students have mastered basic mathematical techniques. A specific estimation step could utilize information a student knows from multiplication facts. I know 10 times 4 is 40. I know 7 times 5 is 35, and so on. As we are nearing the end of our steps for this strategy, the student finally gets to calculate the information from the math story problem in step number 7. This is where they have taken the information they have collected and write down the math problem and calculations they use to obtain the answer. It is important that students include proper details, such as labeling the answer, during their work process. The final step. Step number 8 is quite simple, using basic self-check tools to assure all the information is correct throughout their problem. Once assurance has been made that they included the correct numbers and important details in decoding the story problem, they will know if their answer is correct or not. It is likely the teacher will guide the self-check process to find any discrepancies as the student is first learning this strategy. As time goes on, the student will become more confident and fluent in answering math story problems, likely omitting various steps along the way as mastery is achieved. Here is the appropriate information to find the details on this math strategy that I found from our course text. Thanks for listening.